This is TWiT.
This is Peter Kafka's piece at Recode. He says, if you don't spend much time thinking about Google, this will sound like a big deal. On the other hand, it's very hard to say this will be meaningful for Google employees or anyone in the world who uses Google products because Page hasn't been focused on Google's core search advertising business for a very long time. He managed a portfolio of what the company calls other bets. And by the way, I think this is what's going to end up being at risk. Businesses like Calico and Waymo. And I wonder if once Larry's protection is gone, if it's gone, it may not be gone, but if it's gone, if Ruth Porat and Sundar Pichai might say, well, we'd be a stronger company if we stuck to our knitting.
So I
think Google has to find out what its knitting. It's in the middle of trying to figure out what its knitting is going to be, as search, which is totally still relevant, but is going to become less relevant over time. Now that we embed computing in more places, if we look at the future of computing, Google is figuring out where it wants to be in that world is what it needs to do. And I don't think Larry was helping on the other bets. I think he was looking more at what's fun for him and what's interesting from his perspective. Yeah. So
I'd like to get your perspective on. So I just put up a list of the other bets. I'd be curious just to do a quick tour of them and see what your thoughts are. You mentioned X is just the Bell Labs of Google. I think they're going to keep that because it's fun. Waymo, let's start there. I do think that there's still tops in that field. There's not a clear business there at all yet.
But it's such a tiny, tiny field, though.
Well, potentially huge. If all automobiles are self-driving in 5 or 10 or even 15 years, that's the next big thing for Google. Here's what Elon Musk has said, though, and I'm not sure he's wrong on this one. He says there's no such thing as a self-driving car software company. You have to make the cars and make the software, because the data that you get from making the cars, it informs the software. It's a virtuous cycle, and you can't do one without the other. So Musk is of the opinion, of course, he's got a car company, that self-driving vehicles are going to come from car companies, not from companies like Apple and Google. And this is the only reason I remember this is because this also comes up in the context of Apple. Like, can they really be a software self-drive? Don't they have to make a car?
Right.
And I don't, is Google going to manufacture a car? Or are they going to say, come along and partner with a car manufacturer like Ford? But
they are partnering with car manufacturers. Don't they have a deal with Chrysler?
Yeah, but is that the same thing?
Yes. I think car companies want to outsource this aspect of their innovation. Google's happy to be that partner for them. And I also would not discount the advantage that Google has from its other machine learning efforts and its Waze and other properties. So yes, I think there is definite data coming in off the car, but they can get that through their existing partnerships. And I think, I second
Stacey.
I know why Elon's saying that, because he's got this giant car company.
Yeah, he's got a car company. Yeah. But I
don't think he's out of line saying it.
I don't think he's far wrong. In fact, remember,
it's a proper competitive thing to say, but I don't think he's.
Steve Jobs always said that too. If you want to make great hardware, you got to make the software. It's got it.
Symbiosis.
There is something to be said for controlling the entire chain, and I think if Chrysler and Google try something, but it's head to head with, Audi. VW Audi, where they're doing it all the full stack, that they may have a disadvantage. I don't know. You're right.
Yeah, I don't think Waymo is something you sell.
I wouldn't cut Waymo. They're not going
to sell it. You can't. I wouldn't cut it. I think it still has value. All right, Loon.
Yes, cut it. Loon is the
internet.
Loon is their high-flying internet, which was originally balloons. I don't know what they're using now, but
they actually just did two. They just announced some sort of deal in, I think it was Portugal or Brazil.
Huh.
Someplace that speaks Portuguese.
There you go.
It was the Amazon, actually.
Amazon, yes.
That's
Florida.
But I got to tell you, that's not a big revenue generator. I don't know how many people there are in the Amazon, but I think it's more a proof
when
of
you get to
concept.
Africa,
Yeah, then you got some.
You get to parts of India, you can get real kind of scale there and get people on. So I don't vote. I say hold on.
I say dump it.
I say it doesn't really matter. It's probably not a huge cost.
No, you
center.
can't do that. One or the other.
Well, no, if I'm analyzing it, I would say it's probably not a cost center or a huge cost thing for them. And
Right.
I mean, all of these are basically, hey, do you cost more to operate than the future? Like, than you
also want to
offer
see your
the
strategic
potential
vision,
benefits of that?
Stacey. So you're
So my
Ruth Porat.
The internet is very important for Google. So based on that, if it doesn't cost a lot to do Loon, and you get some good publicity wins,
Okay.
plus you're learning, you've got a nice
I don't-
field for bringing internet to hard places, I think it's a good bet.
I don't
And?
know how much it costs to do Loon, but according to their results from the last quarter, they spent more than $1.3 billion a quarter on other
Loon?
bets like Loon and Waymo.
On all the bets. All the
But
bets.
that's all the bets.
And what are you voting on?
That's
Loon?
$1.3 billion a quarter, more than $5 billion a year. You're going to be looking hard at these other bets, especially with that Larry Page protection.
We have a board
Yeah.
meeting going on. I want to hear the vote from Ant.
I say let it go. You have other things
We're
to focus
tied.
on.
Okay.
That's
So
'cause-
Karsten, you get to break the tie.
I say let
keep
it go.
Mr. Vice President,
Loon,
Keep it.
Loon, you keep.
keep
All right,
Loon.
Wing Aviation. I didn't even know they had this.
This is their drone play, right?
Yes. In Canberra, Australia, and Helsinki, Finland.
We are missing a critical piece of information, which is how much they spend on these, how much they lose on them. You know,
Right.
Yeah, this is
but-
what I'm like. I think they keep it because it's a good research bet and drones are going to be a big deal. I know they're keeping everything right now for me, but so what?
All right, gentlemen.
you got to write the $1.3 billion check, Stacey. I'm just saying.
I'm on it.
I don't think
Have
they're
you
going to
not-
be the
have you
delivery
not heard I'm living
business.
the lounge life?
She's lounge living. She must have money. Makani
I say
Power.
get rid of it.
What is Makani
All right.
Power?
Connie Power. I didn't know they had this one either.
It attempts to harness renewable energy from wind by using propellers on airborne kites.
Oh, this is the kite one. They started
it.
this years ago,
Kill
15
it.
years ago.
Okay,
Kill
keep Loon, kill this one.
Kill this one,
Kill
yeah.
the kites.
Kill it. Kill the kites.
We didn't vote on Wing.
I said keep it.
I said get rid of it.
It's probably cheap. Keep it.
And
By the way,
Get rid of it. They have, again,
this is the worst board of directors ever. I mean, we have no experience. We,
nothing
don't
to
know what it
lose.
costs. We got nothing to
Nothing
lose.
to
We got no
lose.
skin in the game. The worst board meeting ever.
all right, verily.
This is the life science one. Remember, they kind of already had a loss with the contact lenses that
This
they
you
had
sell.
announced.
Surgical robots, retina scan
I keep
technology.
this one. You sell this one, Stacey?
I sell it because it's not tied into any of the core businesses. Like drones are interesting because mapping, it's data gathering, it is mostly mapping. I think that's important. And I think Loon is important for internet, but Verily, I'm not into. Plus, they just bought Fitbit. They got health data now.
I don't even remember Verily.
Yeah,
It was the diabetes detecting contact lens.
Right.
I think, do they have an
Oh,
anti-aging effort too?
No, there is well, maybe is that under Verily? There is a big anti-aging but this was also Larry Page never
Wait,
wanting
go
to
back
die.
to atrial fibrillation. What's that?
You got a
Doing
dog. You got some
sensors.
skin in that game.
Yeah, I do.
Are they?
I do.
Is it Lumi by Pampers?
Yes.
Is that the diaper that senses?
Yes.
It's a connected diaper.
A connected diaper.
Does it analyze the poop?
That's data.
No, it just lets you know when the
By the
poop
way,
is
that
there.
is the future.
There is poop. Okay,
Poop
yes.
analyzing toilets is definitely the future of medicine. Verb surgical. Yeah, this might not be the one, but they definitely had Larry doesn't want to die project.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kill that one too.
You can't kill it. That's the problem. It's going to live forever.
All right, this is a good one. Sidewalk Labs.
Keep it for sure. That's all about
They're getting in
their
trouble
business.
in Toronto from it. They're
Who
getting
cares?
bad PR. I
Who
agree
cares?
I'd kill it.
Wow.
Kill it.
But this is what you
I'd kill it.
you
No,
this fits
it's what
your
I cover.
criterion.
So it does, with the exception of
much data.
government is always Government businesses are tough, and they're going to always incite controversy with the public and with your employee base. You don't get a lot of money out of them. Google is historically terrible at making user-friendly products. Government stuff has to be very user-friendly. Look at IBM's contracts business. So I'd sell this sucker in a heartbeat.
Whoa. Tough. Ruth is tough.
I am harsh.
We should get Kevin Rose in here because he was at Google Ventures. He might still be at Google Ventures, and he probably has a better idea of what all this stuff costs.
Yeah, this is tough without a P&L, I'll be honest.
Yeah. All right, speaking of which, Capital G and GV are their ventures.
They're
things.
They'll
keep those.
That's where
Deep Mind. Deep Mind.
Oh.
Deep.
Absolutely.
This is AI.
Deep.
Yeah,
Deep.
it's not going anywhere.
I think you have to, don't you?
It's the future.
Yeah.
Definitely the future.
Calico, I think that was the Keep Larry Alive business, wasn't it?
Calico is the anti-aging, yes.
Yeah.
I think you could kill that too.
Yeah, that'll get killed because Larry's
All right,
not
finally, I'm really interested in this one, especially Stacey's view, Access.
What is that?
That's their fiber business.
Their fiber business.
So that had a big impact. It actually lowered fiber costs in places where it went in, but Google realized it was horrifyingly expensive. I think with 5G and new spectrum facility, I think they should keep it because I think they can actually deliver broadband in more places for less and compete. And it's such an essential part of all of their businesses that they should keep it and keep researching ways to do it better.
I would have assumed with all of the money Google has, it would be the bigger player to help get rural areas more connected.
That's the old days. They already decided not to do that. What is dead can never die. This died already. A couple of years ago, Google basically stopped putting in fiber.
Yeah.
Well,
I
but
think the only reason
same with
still
Fios.
They
Fios hasn't expanded anywhere, but I'm still using it right now.
They keep it because they have a responsibility to existing customers.